Hey friends and book lovers, welcome back. Today's video is my February wrap up, and honestly I thought I was gonna have so many more books read this month, but I did not accomplish that goal. Thought I was gonna have so much more done, but that is not the way the cookie crumbled. However, I did have some really great reads this month and some really surprising reads as well that I really enjoyed. So I cannot wait to dive into those. This one is one of my more surprising reads. I did a video that I go through my 5 most surprising recent reads, and I'll post that up here and also in the comments below. And this one is Master Artificer by Justin T. Call. I did a full review on this as well, so I'm not going to touch too much on it because there's already like a full video just talking about this. It can be a little spoilery for you if you haven't read Master of Sorrows, which is the first in this series, but I really enjoyed this. Master of Sorrows, I gave like a 3 stars. I thought it was okay. I thought it was like a good kind of prologue type of story, but it didn't feel like a first in a series. With this one though, it definitely feels like the series picked up in a big way and becomes really interesting. So I fell in love with this book, and I think I ended up giving it like a 4.5 or 4 stars, but it was really good and it was really surprising, and it was surprising in a good way such that I definitely want to continue on in the series, whereas beforehand I wasn't as sure of if I wanted to continue on in the series for the long term, because it's going to be like a 12-book series, so definitely don't want to commit to such a long series if I'm not 100% certain that that's what I want to be doing. However, good news, I definitely want to read the rest of this. I don't know when he's going to publish the next one. He hasn't released any information about when he's going to publish the next one. I know there's other people asking him, but hopefully it'll be soon. These books are chunkers though. I tabbed the crap out of this. There were so many good moments that I wanted to reference in my review and that I want to be able to go back to in the tab forms when I do get to the 3rd one when it does come out. So this one was definitely a success. I would recommend it if you enjoy the grimdark fantasy, if you enjoy like a classical type of tone to the book, because it definitely feels like a classical grimdark type of fantasy, and I really did enjoy it for that fact. And there are definitely also D&D influences in this, especially with Artificer. You're going to find a lot of really cool types of artifacts in this book if you really enjoy that type of game or that type of environment. So definitely check this one out and check this series out if that sounds like something you would be interested in. I have reviews for both Master of Sorrows and Master Artificer, and I'll link them down below as well, and I'll link the one for Master Artificer up here as well. So the next one I finished, obviously we all knew I was going to finish this the month it released, and that was House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J. Maas. I wasn't really sure where this was going to go because Crescent City House of Earth and Blood was such like a roller coaster that I was not sure how this one was going to go or where this one was even going to go, but I really did enjoy this. I thought it was great. There's definitely certain things that I didn't totally love about it, but it's Sarah J. Maas and I'm trash for her, and it's just a fun book, and it's a fun world to be in. I love the heroines that Sarah J. Maas comes up with. I really enjoyed the love interests as well. Though Hunt is not my like absolute favorite, I still really enjoy him. The ending is mind-boggling and not at all what I thought it was going to be. I feel bad to those that got spoiled for the ending. That really sucks. I would hate to have been spoiled for this ending, so I definitely empathize with those of you that definitely got spoiled, which really sucks. I fell more in love with Rune in this book. I think out of Hunt and Rune, I definitely choose Rune. I think he's super hot. Definitely another book boyfriend, and I think so many people feel that way after this too, but it was really good and it was really fun. It was definitely a ride. I feel like the Crescent City series is going to be a ride each book, and I think the next one is coming out in a year, so she's not going to continue Equitar until 2024, which feels like a knife in my heart, but I think I will be waiting for Crescent City 3 like no other, and I wish it was going to be out sooner. But this one was great. I've seen some reaction videos. I wish I myself had done a reaction video for this one. I might do like a reaction vlog for the 3rd one that comes out, because I think that'll be really fun to film and do and watch. But let me know if you guys read this. This was definitely a hot buddy read on the Atlantis Discord. We read this all together, and I think there's some of us that are still finishing it up because it is a chunker. It is huge. I think I ate this up in like 2 or 3 days. In my typical Sarah J. Maas fashion, I just wanted to read and I couldn't put it down, especially after a certain point it becomes impossible to put this book down. So it was really difficult for that. I really enjoyed it though. I thought it was really great, and I will be reading the next one when it comes out, and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't spoil anything because not everyone's finished reading it or has gotten to it yet. I definitely want to know what you guys thought, and you know, if you want to discuss spoilers, definitely DM me. My Instagram, my socials are down below, so I definitely want to hear from you guys if you have any like cool spoilery thoughts or any cool theories about the world here, because there's a lot to unpack. There's a ton to unpack. The next couple of books that I read were Disney mangas that I got on NetGalley as ARCs, and they were, you know, Beauty and the Beast from the Beast perspective and then from Belle's perspective, so two separate mangas. And I was really excited to read about the Beast perspective because that's something that I've never read before. I read Belle's perspective just to see if there would be anything different than the actual Disney story or Disney movie. Belle's perspective was really similar to the Disney story and Disney movie. I didn't find anything very special or different about it. We got to see a little bit more of her thinking, so I guess that was maybe the difference, that you don't see her thoughts in the movie. You kind of see her thinking out loud when she's speaking to the staff at the castle, but this was a little bit more in depth. I really did actually enjoy the Beast perspective because you kind of see his character arc and his growth, and to me that was really interesting. I love a really good character arc, and it might not be like the most masterful or expert one, but since it's such a nostalgic childhood movie and story for me, it definitely was filled with delicious and wonderful nostalgia. So I really enjoyed those mangas. They were super easy, super quick to read. If you're someone who loves Disney but loves mangas, I would definitely consider checking them out when they release. I believe by now they should already be released. They were really fun to read, so I'm glad I was able to check those two out on NetGalley. And the last book I read was What Lies Beyond the Veil, the first in the Flesh and Bone series by Harper L. Woods. This I received as an ARC for a book tour, and I had the best time. I did a extended review on my Instagram where I posted about this book, and then I posted a review in the caption in the comments. I know it's a pretty in-depth review. I have that same review on Goodreads too if you'd rather read it there, if you want to go more in depth with it. But it was this kind of darker fae romance story, and I didn't know what to expect. At the beginning, I wasn't as captivated. I thought, okay, this might just be a regular fae romance. And then as things progress, it becomes really captivating and a little strange because it's not like what I thought it would be at the beginning. So I would say like get through the first 15, maybe 20% before you make a judgment on this one, because it does take a little bit to get into the story. I do feel like that first 20% could have been like shortened a little bit, because then the rest of the novel there are some parts that are very fast paced that could have been spread out just a little bit more or explained a little bit more. But as it goes, the pacing was actually pretty fantastic overall. That's just my personal preference, that I would have wanted it to be a little more slowed down in certain parts and a little bit quicker at the beginning just to really catch my attention a lot better. But I really enjoyed it, and I was actually also surprised by this one. So this book ended up being on my 5 books that surprised me video as well as Master Artificer. I really enjoyed it. The end definitely ends on a cliffhanger, so if you can't do something like that, I would wait until August when the sequel releases. I will hopefully get an ARC for that too and read it and be able to book tour about it. I'm actually really looking forward to reading it and figuring out what ends up happening. I think there's a lot more lore that we get to hopefully unpack, and a little bit more world building that we're not getting quite yet. The first book does kind of explain certain things, and it does go into the world building, so it's fun that way. But the way the first one ended, you can just sense that there's more world building and more lore to be learned about. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to like just the premise of the second one, and if it's going to continue into the kind of dark fantasy romance that this one went into, because this one was definitely a dark fantasy romance. I mean, there was a lot of darkness in there. It was definitely a little daunting, and yeah, it was intense at the end. Wow, it was very intense. And it was great that way. I thought it was going to be, again, like I said, a regular fae fantasy romance, very cookie cutter, very similar to other ones. And though it wasn't super dissimilar, there's definitely elements that are very similar. There was also elements that really surprised me. The intensity level that the book goes from like not super intense regular to really intense at the end definitely got me. I did not see that coming, so I really had a good time reading this book. I think I gave it a 4 stars if I remember correctly, and I'm definitely looking forward to reading the second one. I'm still dipping my toes into fantasy romance, but I really did enjoy this one, and I think it's definitely worth reading if you just want something fun and quick and easy to read, because it did only take me like 2 to 3 days to finish this one, and it is very captivating and it is really fun. If you are doing a lot of epic fantasy right now and you want like a palette cleanser, I would pick this one up. If You Can Handle the Cliffhanger. It is on Kindle Unlimited as well, so if you have KU, it's super easy for you to read with the plan. So I would just say have fun and read it. If you've read it already and we haven't spoken about it, tell me what you thought of it in the comments below, or if you're thinking about reading it, definitely let me know. I would love to hear your thoughts about it. And that's all for the books that I read in February. I was hoping to knock out one more, but I was on vacation at the end of February and it just didn't happen, because when you're on vacation, sometimes you just get a little social and you forget that there's books to read. So I didn't get to finish the last one. That one will be a read for March for sure. So y'all will see that in my March wrap-up video, which will go up in a few weeks. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys are reading, what you guys read in February. If you've read any of the books that I read in February, let me know your thoughts about them. I always love hearing them. If you like this video, please click that like button. That does really help support my channel. And if you like my content and you want to see more from me, please don't hesitate to subscribe.